We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm really interested in this topic. Our author today is Tracy Emerick, and wrote a book, Nifty Neighbors, Mr. Rogers and Jesus Christ. Tracy, thanks for stopping by. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How about you?
Fantastic. So let's kind of just jump into why you became an author, a doctor, PhD, impressed by that, but talk about this journey into writing.
Well, interestingly enough, it started out with a book called Extreme Entrepreneurs. It was Steve Jobs and Jesus Christ. And I wrote the book because my son-in-law is an agnostic, but he loves Apple products. And so I thought if I could get him interested in the story of Apple products and a transition into a little spirituality, that I might pull him off the precipice. Uh, that was the first one. That one was published in 2022, and then subsequently I had a new publisher that said, "Do you have any more books in there?" And I said, "Oh, sure." So I wrote three more. There was Extreme Entrepreneurs, then Constant Courage, Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesus Christ. Consummate Coach is Bill Belichick and Jesus Christ. I happen to live in the Northeast, so Bill Belichick was a good character. But then the one we're talking about is Nifty Neighbors. Uh, I wrote the Nifty Neighbors one because of the word neighbor and Mr. Rogers. From my children's days, Mr. Rogers was a fixture. I mean, they used to watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. That was their two favorite shows. And so when I was thinking about the idea of a neighbor, the Nifty Neighbor and Mr. Rogers just they worked. And
Wow.
so that's how I got there. Subsequently, I've written three more. Soaring Souls is Oprah Winfrey and Jesus Christ. Uh, Projecting Power is Donald Trump and Jesus Christ. And the last one I'm finishing up now is Fantastic Futures, Elon Musk and Jesus Christ. So hopefully I've got enough torpedoes in the water that I'll get some people interested in one of my books. The idea behind them is what I'm trying to provide is a transition, a bridge for people who are not necessarily believers. So I figured if I have enough personalities involved, maybe somebody will pick one of them up and say, I got to find out about this. They're not lectures, they're just stories, so people can relate to them.
This is so intriguing because you said the leadership. So you have some sort of leadership in looking at Jesus at the same time. Like, touching about all the books you have.
Right.
What is it? Is that one of the things, the successful people that have a lot of the traits of Jesus in certain aspects?
Well, and vice versa. Jesus has a lot of characteristics that we admire in people we can relate to. So it's a yin and a yang that they work together. Part of the reason for this is I believe Christianity has become something that's over there. You know, you go to church over there, and when you go over there, you can be a Christian, but over here, you don't have to be. And I think that's a mistake. And so what my books are trying to do is say that you're a Christian all the time, and you have God within you. All you have to do is pay attention and listen, ask for help, and you'll get help. So that's the message of all the books is characters that you identify with and characteristics that you like, hopefully, that also Jesus has.
Yeah. This is very intriguing and Tracy in so many ways. So let's talk Mr. Rogers.
Okay,
Do you have a love of Mr. Rogers? I don't know how old you are.
I am 79.
You do not look 79, by the way.
But
Yeah, so I'm 53. So I really grew up in Mr. Rogers' day in so many ways. How about you? Did you grow up or more of your kids grew up in that, if you had kids or
it
grandkids?
was one of my kids. It was
Yeah.
more watching them watch it.
Mhm.
But then I got kind of intrigued with it too because his style was so pleasant.
Definitely pleasant. Talk about that more.
Well, the character he was actually a minister, a Christian minister, a Protestant minister, and the transition he made, and I did a lot of homework. To me, it was fascinating doing the homework because when he showed up to the show, he had on it looked like a business professional, but then he would take that all off and he'd put on the sweater and he'd take off his leather shoes and put on sneakers. And, I didn't realize that was all part of the transition. But I was sucked in by it because I used to watch it and be fascinated. But he was changing characters from something that kids couldn't necessarily identify with to somebody that was like an uncle. And so it was a fascinating character for me at that time as an adult. And I'm getting sucked into the things. So it's like, he did a very good job of the transition, but he was a storyteller, and Jesus was a storyteller because kids don't relate to lectures; they relate to stories. And he had great stories. He talked about every topic under the sun that kids are aware of, but maybe their parents won't even talk to them about it, like single family households or mixed marriages and all kinds of things. He just talked about it as a matter of fact, and kids appreciate that. I mean, he told stories, and so as the stories started to become more familiar, he became more of a comfortable uncle.
Yeah. And let's talk about that. That's what Jesus was. Let's now take the traits of Mr. Rogers to Jesus.
Right. Well, one of the noteworthy passages in the New Testament is when Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me," because in those days, children were not heard, they were not respected, they were put over there a lot like the women were at the time. But he said, "No, I want the children," and he also referenced that you have to be like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. So he had quite a relationship with children, much different than his peers, for sure.
Absolutely. And his relationship with children is one. Mr. Rogers, what I thought was great was the fact of the matter, the neighborhood,
Yes,
how it was so neighborly. And let's talk about, specifically all the different cast of characters that Mr. Rogers had in his make-believe neighborhood.
right.
That he would also relate real life characters like a postman, like all the
The pol-
go
the
ahead.
police officer.
Complete, yeah.
Yeah.
All the different members of society with the make believe society that made it just so intriguing and telling stories.
Yes.
And how did that relate, you thought, with Jesus?
Well, Jesus was a storyteller. I mean, there's like 35 to 40 parables, depending on which version of the Bible you read. But he knew, I mean, nobody was writing anything down at that time. Everything was storytelling. And so he had parables that he tried to relate stories that people could comprehend and regurgitate. So he did a pretty good job. The I just lost the parable. Helping the stranger.
Yeah,
My gosh,
th-
I got a blank.
that's okay. I had a blank today too, Tracy. It must be something in the air today. I had that same blank.
The Good
I literally,
Samaritan.
and so and that drives me nuts because we have such intelligence. We have that blank. Let's just move forward. But you're right, the story of the neighbor. But I think that the key component is Jesus saw how he would go and talk to anyone, regardless if it was somebody, it was a criminal. It didn't matter. The same thing Mr. Rogers did. Mr.
Yes,
Rogers didn't look at occupation. He didn't look at money. He didn't look at anything. He looked how he could serve.
yes. And that I mean that story is told with the woman at the well. I mean, he went and talked to a woman without a chaperone, which was unheard of. She was also a Samaritan, which was not the favorite Israeli companion.
No.
And also, but that's one of the great passages in the book. And so it's him being him. He had sent his disciples away to go get some food, and he met one on one with the woman at the well. And we still don't know what her name is. But it's a great story.
No, no doubt. And what did you learn more about Mr. Rogers writing this book? Because I am going to go to other books too, trust me, because I don't know if we have a half hour to talk just Mr. Rogers, but it's impressive the other books and just some of the other relationships and what you hope
Right.
people get from your book series.
Yes. Any of them intriguing to
No,
you?
I'm going to get to that, but I'm still having another question for you. So that question was I was
Okay.
talking about what did you learn most about Mr. Rogers researching this book?
I learned that he was a hard, did almost 900 shows. And from my vantage point, he was always on point. I mean, he was always there. He was always present for his shows. It wasn't like he was reading lines. It just kind of came out of him naturally, and so it was intriguing. He didn't try to be a comedian. He didn't try to be a lecturer. He just wanted to be a friend, and that's why I think he was such a strong character, at least in my mind. I mean, I'll have to talk to my kids and see what they remember about Mr. Rogers, but I really I just liked his style.
Oh, his style is amazing. And I mean, and the thing that Mr. Rogers did was what he was on TV is the same kind of person he was in real
Yes.
life. So
Yep.
Jesus as the pastor, as the rabbi, and all that stuff, when he was no long, here's another good example. In public, Jesus was the same in private. Same thing with Mr. Rogers. In public, the TV and all that stuff, the same way in private.
Right. And both of them are not pushovers. We look at mildness and comfort, and that characteristic is somebody that's a pushover. Neither one of them were. They were very strong in their beliefs, and they weren't afraid to tell people about what their beliefs are. So, but they did it nicely and not confrontationally.
Right. Because what kind of define that difference? The how they did it not confrontationally. Because a lot of leaders sometimes make the mistake to be confronting, mean, and that's how I'm going to get my people to do what they need to do.
Well, I mean, in consummate coaches, I talk about that with Bill Belichick and him developing his players. He was very personable to his players, but he also had high expectations. Just Jesus had high expectations for his disciples, and he never changed. He never said, "Oh, never mind. You don't have to work quite as hard as I want you to." I mean, he got after him and said, "You're not paying attention to me." And I'm sure Bill Belichick said the same thing to a few athletes in his career, maybe with a little more expletives thrown in. But both of them were strong personalities.
The strong personality, such a great point. Because when you're a strong personality, some people don't like strong personalities. However, that's what leaders do. They're different, they're built, their makeup is different
Yes.
in so many ways. What else do you think Mr. Rogers made him different than the average person?
Oh boy. I looked at him more as the show than the individual. So I think what he did different obviously worked because almost 900 shows later, the market liked it. So I'm looking at him as a very successful uh, counselor, whatever you'd call him on television.
And be able to not bring Jesus to the forefront, but he was a faith-filled man.
Yes. Yep.
Being able to actions speak louder than words.
Right.
And both Jesus and Mr. Rogers did that.
Yes, they did.
But you saw it more as a show. So I'm giving you a little bit more of an insight into this Mr. Rogers thing for your book. Let's talk Bill
Okay.
Belichick because I want to roll up my sleeves, even though I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're able to sell that book in Pittsburgh anytime soon. Bill and Jesus, again, as me, a Steeler fan, that's a
Right.
little hard for me to swallow because
Right.
Belichick days took a lot of Steeler wins away. But
Yeah.
talk about specifically how you saw him related to Jesus.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, both of them were counselors. and both of them had visions that they told their players, and they all had they both had very high expectations. Uh, I mean, Bill Belichick's attitude was when you show up as a professional, you're at zero now. Now we're going to go up. And so if you showed up thinking you're on your top of your game, he let you know quite quickly that you're not quite on the top of your game yet. We have to work together a little bit.
Right.
And so he had a lot of very successful players, and he spent time with each one of them. I mean, he was a coach for the whole team, but he also was a friend for, guys that are in their 20s. They went to college maybe, and they come and they're feeling really good about themselves because I'm a professional football player now. And Bill would kind of take them under his arm and say, "Okay, you are good, but now it's time to get better." And so that constant support and expectations. I mean, he supported them and he expected performance. Jesus supported
Mm.
the disciples and he expected performance. He sent them out on a trial run just to see if they could pull it off. So uh, there's the parallels just for me, being a Patriots fan, the parallels are great.
I have to laugh at that one
Of
as
course, he's
best I
North
can
Carolina now. I mean,
without crying. Um, I mean, I think that what your goal in all this is to really for people to think about Jesus as a role model. Kind
yeah.
of expound on that.
Well, like I said earlier, I think most people today perceive Jesus as somebody that hangs out in the church. They think of in the Catholic Church, he's on the crucifix. In the Protestant Church, he's still the primary character. But that's a problem because people, as I said earlier, they think it's over there. Jesus is over there, and they don't think about Jesus being part of them. So that's part of what this is all about, is to get people just to ask some questions. What does this make sense? Was he that good of a guy? Maybe I ought to do more homework. That's all I'm trying to do is hold a mirror up so people can look at themselves and say, yeah, well, maybe there's something in this for me.
Okay.
I don't know.
And why do you continue to write so many books? You blow me away. What's
Well,
the yeah, go ahead.
well, when I talk to different people, email me and ask me questions and stuff, and it's interesting that they like this book, they don't like that book, and the other one likes that book, but they don't like this book. And so, as I said earlier, I think if I get 7 torpedoes out in the water somewhere, I might have some scores. Like you said, you're not going to read about Bill Belichick, but you might read about Mr. Rogers.
Or Donald Trump, because it's intriguing to look at those things.
Yes.
He's becoming very divisive figure. Let's go to Elon Musk because I don't want to tick
Oh,
off my listening audience. Let's go to Elon. I'm intrigued by that one because
okay.
I'm a huge fan of Elon, just because of his innovation, his willingness to think out of the box, his ability to try to solve problems that no one's ever solved before. Go ahead. The
That's
difference. Give me how that similarity to Jesus.
Well, I looked at Elon with his vision of interplanetary resettlement.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. You're
That's
right.
his big, I mean, that's his big idea. And if you look at it, he builds back. Everything he's doing is building to that. So he had a vision of a fantastic future, and he's organizing himself around that vision.
Are
I'm
you
a
going to go to space, Tracy?
no, not with the time frames he's talking about.
I really. What are the time frames now in your research?
Once you leave either the moon or Earth, and you can do it every 26 months, the cycle, the planets are close enough together that you can get from Earth to Mars. It's 7 to 9 months in transit from the Earth or the moon to Mars.
What about the
Seven to
moon?
nine
What
months
about
to
what about going to the moon and being part of that colonization?
Oh, I mean, that's a day trip.
Yeah, so that's
That's
my
nothing in the
question is
scheme of.
when do you think that's going to happen?
I think it's going to happen sooner than later. Because
I could see if let's say our tax system changed that all the rich people move to the moon.
That'd be interesting.
I'm just saying, just again, that not in a political sense. I'm not trying to be in a political sense of being in a true economic sense. That's where they're already buying pieces of the moon. People don't know that. The rich are already buying property on the moon.
Right.
So when do you, from your research, I know you're talking about Mars. We're looking at 20 years from Mars, right?
Well, he wanted to, he his, uh, let me restate. He has so many videos out and books and written about him, but one of them was mid next decade, 1935. I mean, 2035.
2035. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's possible, but I do think the moon in the next 3 or 4 years is absolutely possible, uh, because his movement is not with people originally, it's with robots. So if you take the
Yeah, I'm waiting on
human
this
out of the
robot thing
problem,
too. We're closer, aren't we?
well,
His robot
he's
development, that's
done some
very
magnet.
close.
Yep, yep. And I think that the thing that blows my mind with him is that everything he does supports other things. Every time he improves the car, the robots get smarter, and he improves the robots, and the cars get smarter. And I mean, it's crazy
And how does that
how he's
relate to Jesus? Now, I'm his visionary,
well.
his mind. Go ahead.
Jesus talked about a good life. He talked about an afterlife. He talked about the vision of where you could go. And he said, you may not experience it here, but you can come with me. And so that his future, fantastic future, was our fantastic future. You know, Elon Musk, it's not my fantastic future. I'll stand on the curb and say, "Go, baby, go." But I'm not going to go either to the moon or to Mars, quite honestly.
Oh man. I'm going to the moon. I'm going to Mars. I'm looking at longevity as long as I can live. That's why I focus myself at 53, just try to get my body in shape because I am here for the long haul as an entrepreneur. I want to be where you are, Tracy, but in 30
Yeah.
years, if I have the mind you have, in 30 years, I'm going to be unstoppable because I'm in a place where your trajectory is the most opportunity of growth you've ever seen in the history of life.
Yes.
If you if you are willing to be open to it, if you're
Yes.
willing to learn this technology, if you're willing to not allow age to be a reason, it's endless for you, the opportunities.
Well, and if you're willing to listen to yourself, because you've got a lot of we have good ideas, but we work very hard at saying, "Ah, that's not a good idea." We learn to cancel ourselves out. Because if you're entrepreneuring, as soon as you come up with an idea, everybody tells you it can't be done. And you kind of learn that and you say, okay, I got a good idea, but it can't be done.
Yeah, because these coaches are out there shutting it down, or these
Right.
experts out there because they don't want you to compete with them.
That's
So they're
right.
going to give you the worst ideas in the world just to make you feel bad about yourself and become one of their flock. That is truly happening
Good.
with these. Go go ahead. You're froze up for a sec. Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, I think we just came back to life.
Yeah, you're back to life now. Go ahead.
Okay.
What are your thoughts from what I just said?
Uh, I was just reading the line that says your connection's unstable. I'm
No, I
sorry.
was going to say, Tracy, that there are people out there that are these gurus that don't want to see you grow to them. So they're going to give you advice that's basically so that you can stay behind them.
Right.
And that goes in our brains, comparing ourselves to other people instead of comparing where we need to go.
Yes.
And
And
say
that,
this,
but we start to believe it. That's the sad part. If you listen to your soul talks to you like Jiminy Cricket. But a lot of us, once we get that soul notion or that big idea, we go, no, I don't want to do it today. Maybe next week or next month. But there's no time like the present. You know, you gotta keep like you said, you got to keep moving forward and have a goal.
right. Moving forward, have a goal and I think the thing that AI has given us is there's nothing not possible now. And you have the faith and you're able to say it, there's no stopping you. The only thing stopping you is yourself.
That's right.
Because there's
Yeah, the
nothing.
whole
I
AI
mean,
thing, that's a mind blower all by itself.
oh my gosh. And I love it because it really makes me organize my thoughts correctly. So the gift that God has given through AI, which a lot of people are trying to knock it. That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
another great technological tool in our history of our life.
Yep.
Especially if you want to go to the moon. I want to go to the moon. So if I told people I'm going to the moon, that's not what Jesus wanted for us. That's not true either. Expound on that. That Jesus did not wanted us to explore other planets. It just wasn't in his mind at that time. Technology wasn't there, right?
I think he gave us a gift to achieve what we can achieve. That's up to do the invitation. It's just some people are a lot smarter than others. And right, Elon Musk has got every base. I'm amazed.
Absolutely. All right. So, Tracy, where's the best place we can find information on you? Uh, Purchase your book and learn more about it. Where can we go?
Well, you can go to, I tried the podcasting world, and that's called the leadershipfrontier.com. I have a couple of websites. One is tracyemerickphd.com, and the other one is authortracyemerick.com. Uh, all that's advertised right now, or all that's promoted, are the first four books. The last three are in design and edit right now. So
I want you
uh,
back on the show when the next book comes out, too.
happy to do it.
I want you there. Okay. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Tracy. Thanks again. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show. And